As a coffee roaster and blender, we bring coffee from all around the world, and we source from Central America, from South America, from East Africa, and also from Asia. And in our roasting plant here in Glasgow, we're able to create blends with maybe 1 or 2 components, all the way up to 6 different components, making sure the coffee is freshest and fresh from harvest if we can. We roast the coffee here into a number of different packaging formats, which are very much specialised towards the food service industry. Our principal product that we do sell, however, is espresso beans, and over the last 15 years our business has moved from 1% espresso to now approaching 70 or 80% espresso, largely reflecting the change in the consumer market. We would encourage any business to take a long, hard look at sustainability and how it works for them. We think it's an imperative that people look at the 3 pillars in the classic definition, those being social, environmental and economic impacts of doing business. And really to assess how that impacts downstream and upstream of your business and of your operations. We've certainly seen as a way of clearly differentiating us from our competition. And we're very much toying around with a concept just now within our business called Beyond Fair Trade. Fair trade now forms part of the DNA of our business very much. All of the products that we buy that are fair trade are also organic, and a significant proportion of those are also Rainforest Alliance. And this concept of triple certified is something that we were first to market with in the UK in around 2004. A number of our large customers, such as Pret A Manger and Sainsbury's, now use triple certification as a major USP in the ethical marketing of their coffee. These certifications we see as threefold. Fair trade very much as a trade justice certification and guarantees a fair and economic return to coffee producers for their goods. Organic we see very much as control of pesticides and chemicals in the agri-supply chain. And Rainforest Alliance we see as a best practice certification for environmental concerns. At Matthew Algie we believe that the best approach to coffee is a blend of artisanal, traditional techniques with cutting-edge science, and that's very much part of our business. We have very, very strong links with University of Strathclyde, and in particular with the Centre for Food Quality. And we have melded those links into a couple of different research programmes, often through the Knowledge Transfer Partnership, which has worked very well for us in the past. As a roaster, I think we punch above our weight in terms of the science that we work with. But again, we think this is very much one of our major USPs as a manufacturer in Scotland, and it's something that we would encourage other food businesses within Scotland to really focus on. There's a lot of assistance out there, and a lot of universities are actually looking for industrial partners to work with proactively.
Linking with universities is definitely important, and in some cases is essential, because you have to see it from the company's point of view. A company this size, a family-owned company, has limited resources, but if you work closely with the university, I mean, they have staff dedicated to that. That is what they do, that is their life. So it's much easier then to work together and come up with, for example, a research program, or it could be an industrial placement for a master's student.
My ultimate goal was to get a job in the coffee industry, and luckily for me, when I went to do my master's at Strathclyde, found out that Strathclyde was affiliated and did research with Matthew Algie, and I was very determined to do a project here for my dissertation. While I was doing that here, an opportunity came up to work as a QA assistant at Matthew Algie.
Around 10 years ago we established a separate business division called Espresso Warehouse, and their focus is very much around everything but the coffee. So whether that be cups, syrups, smoothie mixes, etc., anything that you would see in a coffee bar. That brought us into contact with a large array of suppliers with whom we'd never traded before, whether it be hardware specialists or other food companies that we were interested in developing products with. And as part of that, and trying to get real value from that supply chain, we've developed some interesting relationships with those. For instance, we have a range of baked good products called Wooden Spoon, which we've chosen to work with small artisan-based bakeries, some of which are in Scotland, some of which are elsewhere in the UK. But very much the ethos is about handmade, and that's taken us to some interesting places. We worked with the Island Bakery based in Mull, who are a small artisanal-based bakery. Worked with them on obtaining BRC certification. Looking up to the higher level, we've worked with McPhee of Glenbervie, and very much in a knowledge exchange. We operate in completely different markets, but benchmarking, new product development processes, approach to sensory analysis within businesses of our scale and our size. And also we've looked internationally. So for instance, we have knowledge exchange partners in New Zealand, which is a very interesting market for us from a coffee standpoint. I would say Australasia is maybe 5-6 years ahead of where the UK is. And it's been really interesting to work with some businesses over there to understand how they develop their products and how they market their products and services, and to take learnings from that back into the UK and hopefully to advance our own business. And as we've seen fair trade really start to get some serious penetration with consumers, what can we do next as a business? And we believe that that's our next challenge. To try and summarise the ethics of Matthew Algie as a company, I would look to the psyche of the west of Scotland. I think we are very traditional, slightly conservative as a business, but believe in doing the right thing. I think that affects the way that we work with our suppliers based in the UK as much as it does our supply chain partners in the rest of the world. And for us, providing we can return a good price to them, providing we continue to make a reasonable profit, we think that's a fair way of doing trade.